It's about the time of year that a lot of families are coming together, putting up trees, and if they're British, probably getting hammered too. It's pretty likely then that a lot of people are gonna be loading up their laptops, their smart TVs, and looking for a Christmas movie or two to chuck on. And if you've ever thought, I like Christmas films, but I wish more of them were built around really murky, confusing, and ultimately hollow social or ideological points, then boy oh boy do I have a recommendation for you. This is Noelle, a Disney Plus exclusive from way back in 2019, before the dark times, starring Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader. And it's strange.
Kringle. 2 minutes.
The film, in a nutshell, is as follows. Noelle's a little girl who loves Christmas. She's kind of fortunate in that regard, because her dad is Santa. Not a Santa, the Santa. In the lore of the Noelle cinematic universe, the mantle of Santa is worn by a single family, who live at the North Pole along with a servile class of elves, or I guess a servile race, because the elves are genetically different to their human bosses. But yeah, there isn't one eternal Santa. There have been a series of them, men and their sons, and so on, for the last 2,000 years. Next in line is Noelle's older brother Nick, but he's not as into Christmas as his sister is. Because she's younger, because she's a girl, she isn't going to be the next Santa. That's a shame, and it's a shame the film emphasizes. It seems there's a sort of patriarchy here in the North Pole, or at least a primogeniture, which means Nick will be Santa, and Noelle, well, nobody seems to know what her role here is, so they just tell her it's to spread Christmas cheer. That isn't really fair though, and the film knows it. As Noelle gets going, we skip forward to the year Santa pops his clogs, and it's very apparent that Nick doesn't really have a handle on Santa-ing. He can't fly the sleigh, he can't go down the chimneys, he can't peer into children's souls. Yeah, that's the other thing. The Santas in Noelle are magic. They can tell if a child is good or naughty, they can speak every language, you know, etc. It's more Harry Potter than Doctor Strange magic though, in that it's intrinsic to the Kringle family and seemingly to certain members of the Kringle family. So Nick struggles with his Santa powers, but while Noelle's trying to coach him, we see that she's got these Santa powers in spades. This whole thing is too much for Nick, so he flees the pole on an indefinite sabbatical right before Christmas. If you've seen more than like 3 films in your life, you'll probably guess how this film ends. And it does end that way. Noelle, to the shock of the North Pole's traditionalists, takes on the mantle of Santa herself and saves Christmas. But there's a whole middle section too, in which Noelle goes looking for the errant Santa in Arizona, sees the real world, meets real people, and maybe just learns a little something about just what exactly makes Christmas so special. It's Elf. That middle bit's doing Elf. Anyway, it's this middle bit that really cements the idea that this film has aspirations slightly beyond fun Christmas film. Don't get me wrong, that is largely what it's shooting for, but you also get the sense here that Noelle's trying to say something. We see homeless kids with out-of-work parents whose Christmas wish is for parental employment.
What do you want for Christmas?
There's an almost Good Place type beat at one point where it's revealed that there's only a tiny handful of empirically nice kids in the world of today.
Our research indicates that there are only 2,837 nice children in the world. Nearly every child fibbed, refused to eat their vegetables, or failed to practice proper dental hygiene.
There's a whole subplot about a Kringle cousin trying to replace the runaway Santa with drones and Amazon Prime, and that isn't totally played for laughs. He's the nearest thing this film has to an antagonist. Noelle is about more than Christmas then. It's about the unfairness of patriarchal norms. It's about meritocracy versus privilege. It's about progress, modernization versus tradition. But the weird thing here is the way privilege, tradition, and the status quo win, almost exclusively. Cousin Gabe's attempts to lead the North Pole, to step into Christmas as it were, without those aristocratic Santa powers, leads to disaster, and is stopped at the 11th hour by the high-born Noelle's intrinsic betterness. The idea to automate some of these Christmas proceedings is a bad one, the film argues, and the North Pole would be better off sticking with the system, sticking with good old-fashioned elf labor. That one time something does change, it's with Noelle's adoption of the Santa mantle, the Santal, if you will. That kind of dark point about modernity's erosion of nice kids, the point Noelle makes about the world getting worse and worse, more and more unfair.
For thousands of years, we've jingled bells and delivered toys, and the world just gets more awful and miserable, so what's the point?
When Noelle becomes Santa, she doesn't use the limitless potential of Santa's magical goods delivery system to radically alter the way people, goods, and class interact, even though the whole drone delivery subplot has shown that there's nothing actually stopping the North Pole from radically changing their MO. No, the only resolution we get here is that the assessment of niceness reverts back from Cousin Gabe's goodness algorithm to the individual judgment of Noelle's Santa, along with a redoubled commitment to bringing holiday cheer, because that's what homeless kids really need.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry Christmas.
And if you did read between the lines here, assume that the reason there's only 2,000 nice kids in the world has more to do with the way modern society's built Jenga style upon layers and layers of evil and exploitation than it does with unmade beds and unflossed teeth, then this too becomes another example of the way this film takes the status quo for granted, places it beyond reproach, because the problem here is that Gabe's algorithm didn't take these evils into account, and adjust accordingly, which Noelle's innate Santaness seems to instinctively do. And, you know, if you or I were writing a goodness algorithm, we'd probably do that, adjust for the no ethical consumption under capitalism factor. But that's because we'd know we couldn't do anything to change it. We're not magic. But these guys? They are. These Kringles have immense godly powers. With Noelle, the film gives us a protagonist who possesses these powers, who seems aware of injustice, seems opposed to it, and seems willing to oppose it. It follows then that the film's conception of injustice must shrink, must become exceptionally narrow, must avoid systemic critique, because otherwise, Noelle, this idealist we follow throughout the film, she wouldn't be content becoming Santa and just saving Christmas. She'd want to do more. So in order to keep this a relatively simplistic Christmas-saving flick, the problems of the world must be rooted in individual failings, isolated, unfortunate events. There aren't any unjust systems in Noelle, just people failing to properly operate within the system. For instance, that homeless kid whose Christmas wish was a job for her mum, Noelle wraps up a job posting for their present. I'm not joking, that's actually a thing that happens. Tradition wins, the old ways win, the status quo remains unquestioned. The seeming exception to this Christmas conservatism is Noelle's ascent to Santahood. She's the first female Santa. Surely that's changing the system. Well, kinda, but not really. In reality, the reason patriarchy and primogeniture are wrong, or at least a reason, is that men aren't intrinsically, essentially better. They're not biologically or metaphysically superior, more suited to leadership, and so systems privileging them are fundamentally unfair and repressive. In the North Pole of Noelle, though, this isn't really the case, or at least thinking otherwise is a perfectly reasonable mistake to make. There have been generations of previous male Santas. We see with Nick and Noelle that not every Kringle possesses this innate Santa-ness. It seems like only one generation does. And if every previous Santa has been male, then that seems to imply no female Kringle before Noelle has ever possessed these powers. And if that's the case, then unlike in our world, a system privileging men, automatically granting them the role of Santa, would seem to be a logical one. This realization really defangs the film's progressive gesturing. Noelle isn't overcoming a bigoted, repressive system here, she's just readjusting a slightly misaligned one. This isn't a victory for equality. For one, the elves remain at the bottom of the pile. If this film had any guts, Noelle wouldn't have been Nick's sister, she would have been his elf housekeeper. That would have been a step forward. No, this story ends by reinforcing, cementing as unquestionably true the idea that some people, here the gifted Kringles, are better, more powerful, more suited for power than others. The hierarchy doesn't change, the pyramid doesn't collapse, a woman just gets to sit at the top for once. It's big, more female drone pilots energy. There might be a feminist spirit here, narrowly, but if so, it lacks any intersectional awareness. No, if so, it's girl boss feminism, neoliberal feminism, an acceptance of the world's unjust hierarchies, so long as women are added to the in-group, the privileged class. It's probably worth pointing out too that per the film, there's no real prohibition against female Santas in North Pole society. It doesn't break any rules. The traditionalists merely assumed it did.
Santa's not a girl?
I rechecked the Christmas covenant, and it turns out there's nothing there that says a woman can't be Santa.
Maybe there's half a point buried here somewhere about the subconscious way patriarchy is reinforced and propagated, the way capable women are overlooked, but this isn't really empowerment. No rules are broken, assumptions are merely disproven. The system doesn't change, and to be honest, it's barely readjusted. The system was fine, it just wasn't being employed properly. The kid with the unemployed mum? That's sad, this film says, but it's an individual problem, nothing more. Skill issue, Noelle says. Bootstrap it, give her a job posting, and all is well once again. This film's been labeled as progressive, but what is it progressing past? It isn't unjust patriarchal hierarchies or even hierarchy itself. What is it criticizing, except a few mildly bad apples? That's not a rhetorical question, by the way. If you can see something here, you're more than welcome to point it out in the comments, but I'm really struggling to see any real sentiment here. As far as I can tell, digging into this film's themes reveals empty progressive gesturing and nothing more. The sad part here is, I don't think the film's even aware that there's no real substance behind these gestures. It seems to think Noelle is some iconoclastic glass ceiling smasher.
Traditions change, right?
If there is some latent conservatism here, I think it's unconscious. The project feels well-intentioned, perhaps just not exhaustively thought through. Maybe it's lacking perspective, maybe imagination. Because really, what's stopping Noelle from using her powers, the North Pole's resources, to change the world? It's not like this is the Noelle cinematic universe. The status quo doesn't need to be artificially maintained. There's no real reason Noelle couldn't have been the reddest Santa yet. We've probably got capitalist realism to blame here. The idea that our world's current system is so deeply embedded within the mind of the capitalist subject that even imagining an alternative has become impossible. As a result, we'd be foolish to assume any form of malice here, so no, I don't think Noelle's trying to co-opt progressive aesthetics, not consciously, and I'm not trying to cancel it. I don't think watching it makes you, I don't know, anti-union or anything. The film's not even unenjoyable, really. Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader are never not fun to watch. It's fine. The point isn't that a film has to abide by my values, explore things I find interesting, or it's a bad film. But I think we do well to remember that the link between actually feminist stories and female protagonists isn't a direct one, and that films which go out of their way to avoid systemic critique aren't apolitical, they're just siding with the powers that be. One of the great cultural successes of the neoliberal project has been its victory over imagination. The way picturing anything else seems impossible. So I guess the point here is that Noelle encapsulates this perfectly. We see this throughout Noelle, the choices the film makes, and perhaps more importantly, the ones it doesn't. Actually, hold on, I forgot about Snowcone.
Oh, yes, here's my hyperactive little reindeer.
Yeah, there's this little baby reindeer type thing, and he's just such a sweet little guy. I mean, just look at him. I take it all back, this film is flawless. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Likes and shares are much appreciated as always. Views haven't been great recently. I don't really know what the algorithm wants from me at the moment, so hey, maybe this is it. Maybe a little video on an odd Christmas film's gonna be the next pillar of garbage smash hit. Who knows? Hope you enjoyed the video though, and to all my Patreon supporters watching, you should be able to go and read this video's endnote on that platform as soon as this one drops. A big shout out to all my current supporters on screen now, especially Tig, and that's all for now, folks.